I Do Makeup and Hair is a collaboration of the industry's top makeup artists and hairstylists specializing in on-location bridal makeup and hair. We bring the beauty to you on your special day. We use only professional products for your makeup and hair, including HD quality airbrushing, which has an all-day waterproof wear perfect for our summer brides. Our team of artists are the industry's leading salon owners, cosmetic managers, and trainers, specializing in the latest bridal and high fashion trends.
My name is Becky Greenlee, and I have been with I Do for the past year and a half now. And I've been a licensed cosmetologist for the past 10 years and absolutely love working with I Do because I get to meet new people every single weekend and get to be around an absolutely amazing environment of happy-go-lucky brides and the mothers of the brides and the bridesmaids. And I truly get to make such an impact on their day and on their lives.
Hi, my name is Christina, and this is going on my 5th season working with I Do. I've learned a lot from all the girls I've worked with, as well as trying to contribute what I know to them. It's really fun getting to play with all the brides and the bridesmaids and make them feel their best. I've made a lot of great friends, and I feel it's really opened myself as an artist.
I came into this as a makeup artist, and I am so much more than just a makeup artist now, having worked with these wonderful ladies. They have taught me everything that they know. Makeup artistry has always been my passion, but now my passion is most definitely the bridal industry and making you feel good on your special day.
We look forward to being a part of your wedding day.
Hi everyone, my name is Crystal. I'm the owner of I Do Makeup and Hair. I want to thank you for joining this program overview video. In this video we will be discussing all of the details about our freelance program with regards to expectations and guidelines. First, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry now for about 15 or 16 years. I started my journey in the cosmetic world in 1999. I'm originally from Ohio. That's where I live currently, and that's where I Do's corporate offices are. But when I was 18 years old, I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and started with a company called Elizabeth Arden. With Elizabeth Arden, I worked as their counter manager, and then moved back to Ohio and worked for Clinique for about 3 years. And then started working for a company which a lot of you have probably heard of, MAC Cosmetics. And with MAC Cosmetics, I absolutely loved working with them. I worked with MAC for about 7 years. In that position, I was their district manager, in which I managed 8 MAC locations. And what I did is I went around and hired all the MAC artists, MAC managers, did the trainings and whatnot. And then about 6 years ago, I started an amazing company called I Do Makeup and Hair. At that point in my life, I started to have children and realized that retail was very hard with trying to balance out a family life. So started freelancing and quickly realized that I was making in one day what I was making in a 40-hour work week. So freelancing is amazing. I'm really excited to tell you a little bit more about our program. Again, our program allows artists such as yourself to, especially when you have kids, especially like me, I was able to stay home during the week and then work weddings on the weekends. So I want to tell you a little bit about I Do Makeup and Hair and what makes us so special. We have been ranked the top #1 makeup and hair company in the bridal industry. And the reason for that is because we only offer wedding assignments and work with the best. So if you're on this call, congratulations. We've already looked into your portfolio. Perhaps you were recommended to I Do Makeup and Hair by one of our pro artists. But if you're on this call, we already know that you are amazing at what you do. So let's talk a little bit more about the business. We participate in many different marketing programs. One that we completely dominate is the internet. So we do really, really well because a lot of brides like to go online and shop for their wedding vendors. Secondly, we dominate the market when it comes to amazing customer service and reviews. So when a bride is shopping online for a artist, most of the time they will visit our website first because we typically have about 80% more reviews than any other company out there. So we are an artist talent agency, and what we do is we provide artists such as yourself with job opportunities. And what makes our company so significant and special is that we have taken tips and tricks from amazing brands from MAC, Temp2, Kenra, Sephora, Paul Mitchell, Aveda, and other elite brands in the industry. And so all of the artists that work through our program have 5 to 15 years of backgrounds from these companies. And what we do is we share tips and tricks from all of these companies and salons and schools, and we've created a master artist. So we are a community of the best in the industry, helping each other to grow artistically, and again, sharing tips and tricks with each other. This is just a little bit of a growth chart to give you an idea of the business that we do. We currently are in 24 cities and 13 states and quickly growing. Each year we usually open up 2 to 3 new markets, but back in 2012 you can see we did about 250 weddings, which isn't much. And then in 2013 you see that we doubled our business, and then that chart kind of continues with doubling our business each year. If you take a look at 2016, you'll notice that we have almost tripled our business, and that's because in 2015 we opened up 3 new divisions. So we currently have 5 divisions, 5 market managers, a couple of trainers, product specialists, recruiters, so a lot of really cool managers out there helping all of the artists find job opportunities. So as mentioned, we are a job placement agency. We are an artist talent agency. Brides come to us because of our reputation. They know that if they contact us, we will partner them up with an amazing artist. We work with freelancers. So a lot of the artists who work in our program are either salon owners, regional makeup artists, business owners, working freelance. And the word freelance means that you're free to also work for yourself with your personal clients, and you're free to work for other companies. Besides, I do. We average about 20 to 30 weddings per week per market. That's during bridal season. That is usually year-round in our southern markets. In our northern markets, where it's a little bit colder in the winter, we have a lot less weddings going on because brides unfortunately don't want to get married when it's cold outside. So hopefully one day that will change. So a couple of things that we require of the artists that we work with is amazing communication. We do all the communication with the bride, and we do all of the administrative work. So what that looks like is a bride will contact us looking for an artist. We will then contact you if you live within the area of that wedding. So when we contact you, we will provide you with all of the details of the wedding, such as the date, tentative time frame, the address, the total number of makeup and hair, and at that point you have the flexibility to let us know if you would like to accept that wedding or decline that wedding. If you accept the wedding, what we do at that point is we put that reservation on an I Do Google Calendar where we keep track of all of your reservations that you've accepted. At any point in time you can log into your personal Google Calendar to double check your reservations. It's also really important that you are managing your schedules as well. So some artists will use planners and whatnot, or they might log into their I Do Google Calendar every Sunday night just to kind of look at what's going on for the week ahead of them. Time management is also really important. I mentioned we only work with the best artists in each region. Being really good at makeup and hair is awesome, but there's a lot more that goes into it in regards to being a well-rounded artist. Time management, staying on track with your schedules, and having a great image, lots of different things, professionalism. There's a lot of things that we look at when we're booking artists. So moving on, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about minimums. We only offer weddings to freelance artists we only offer large weddings. We have a minimum of 5 to 7 applications per artist on Saturdays. Sometimes we'll lower that a little bit if it's a weekday. We also have what's called a bride-only package, which we only offer that during the weekdays. So when you're working with us through our program, you're guaranteed to have a large wedding, which is great because I know a lot of you out there that are independently working and doing your own weddings already often will work one wedding in the morning and just do a couple of applications, and then you're off to your second wedding, and that can really pose customer service issues if there's traffic or if people add on to their schedule that weren't originally booked. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. So the nice thing about our program is you just get to work one huge reservation that day and then go home or do a trial run and go home and be with your family. Next, I want to talk about hourly rate. Since we are an artist talent agency, we provide you with the jobs. We don't pay you, the bride pays you. The hourly rate that you would get paid from the bride is $70 to $90 an hour, which is amazing. I remember working for MAC as a district manager and working anywhere from 40 to 60 hours a week and not even making half of that hourly rate. So again, the program is just an amazing program where as I mentioned, a lot of you can stay home during the week if you prefer. Some artists still work in salons during the week, but it gives you the flexibility. If you are a good artist and you do a great job, you can work one day a week and make what most people in this world make in a 40-hour work week. As mentioned, we are the administrators. We do all of the communication back and forth with the bride. Usually that looks at about 15 to 30 emails back and forth from start to finish. We do all of the scheduling, we do all of the contracts, we do pretty much everything in the back office, and all you have to do is just show up on time, looking great, and doing what you love, which is makeup and hair. I want to talk a little bit more about image. We do request that all of you wear all black. No colored accessories, no colored scarves. Pro artists are known for wearing black. It's a professional color. It's something that's very important. When you arrive to a trial run or a wedding, it's really important that you look like a pro artist. And what that means is arriving with your hair clean and styled, full face of makeup. If you are going to wear nail polish, please make sure that it's not chipped. And the reason why we ask that is because a lot of times when we get pictures posted in magazines and websites, usually what you'll see is the back of an artist's head, and then you'll see their hand holding a brush or a hot tool. And you can see chipped nail polish or unmanicured hands. It's the first thing you see. So image is so important because we're in the beauty industry. And unfortunately, you are going to get judged strictly based on how you look in the first 10 seconds of meeting a new client. They don't care about your resume. They're not going to care about your artistry skill. They are going to judge whether or not they think you can do makeup and hair based on how your makeup looks, based on how your hair looks, and based on how you're dressed. So keep that in mind. If you wear a ton of makeup and really go all out, that's great. But keep in mind that that can also be intimidating because a bride might think that, if they're going for a natural look, they might think that you're going to do that to their face, and it can be very intimidating. So again, just a very clean, professional, yet trendy image is what we ask of you. We do have a conflict of interest policy, and what that looks like is we only work with independent artists. If you have your own website, if you are currently promoting on wedding websites, that's great. We encourage that. However, if you have a team of artists or if you book weddings for other artists besides yourself, that is a conflict of interest, and we would not be able to offer you our program. If you have any questions about this, we can talk to you separately about it. You are able to have an assistant travel with you to your personal wedding. But an assistant is someone who is helping you out with partial of your application. So if your assistant is doing full makeups, full hairstyles, and you are receiving compensation for that assistant, at that point that would be a conflict of interest. Because you're not an employee of iDo, you're a freelance artist working for yourself, other companies, and also with iDo, we require that all of our artists have their own freelance kit. We have lots of different programs in place. We work with over 38 pro companies that offer artist discounts. So we definitely are here to help you get together a professional kit if you don't already have one. But that is something that we require that you do have. The lines that we recommend that you have in your kit for makeup are MAC and then also Temp 2 for airbrushing. The reason why we recommend MAC is because most of their formulas are specifically made to enhance high definition photography. And with working with brides with iDo makeup and hair, that's the industry that we're in, is the high definition film and photography. So there's a lot of makeup out there that does not photograph well. So we're here to help you figure out what should be in your kit and what shouldn't be in your kit. You don't have to use all MAC, but as long as you're using a pro product that kind of speaks for itself, that is waterproof, that can stay on for 9 to 12 hours. You know, if the bride is crying or sweating, it needs to be able to stay on perfectly so that they look amazing all day. So if you're using a makeup line that can do that, then you are welcome to have that in your kit. The hair line that we recommend, there's two that we really like. That's Aquage and Kinra. So again, you're welcome to use other products. It just has to be something that you can purchase in a salon and not at a drugstore. We have an amazing product support team who, again, we're here to answer any questions that you have about products. We're here to set you up for success. We have an amazing group Facebook page that you can be a part of that community. There's over 230 artists currently on that group Facebook page, and we're talking about the best of the best. So if you have any questions about products, if you want tips and tricks on something specific, a lot of times on our group Facebook page we'll post amazing sales with Temp 2 and different makeup lines, lashes, things like that. It's just a great community to learn new things and to know kind of what's going on in the industry. With each makeup application on our price menu, we have suggested prices, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I do want to let you guys know that when you look at our price menu, we include lashes and airbrushing with each makeup. So if you're working in our program and you're doing a trial run or you're working with a bridal party, please keep that in mind that lashes and airbrushing are included with each application. We, again, work with some different companies where you can get your lashes extremely affordable. And then with airbrushing, we have had a lot of artists over the years who maybe they worked for MAC for 10 years and they never really ventured out into airbrushing, and that's okay. We have many videos out there to kind of help you and train you on how to do airbrushing. I know the Temp 2 student starter kit with our pro discount, you can get 12 starter foundations, the cleaner, your compressor, all for I think under $240, and you can make that back easily in one wedding. So if you're not ready to do airbrushing quite yet, that's no problem. We have a video training library. As mentioned, we're currently in 13 states, so we're based out of Ohio is where our corporate offices are, and most of our owners live in Ohio. So unfortunately, it's hard for us to actually come in person and do trainings with all of you. So what we have done is we have put together a video training library. It is free to all of the artists who are contracted with iDo, and you can log on. And if you want to know how to cover a tattoo in 20 minutes, maybe you want to know how to do a waterfall braid, a high updo, you name it, we probably have a video to help set you up for success. A lot of artists ask if we require that they are able to do both makeup and hair. The answer to that is no. You don't have to know how to do both makeup and hair, but if you want to learn the other that you don't specialize in, again, we are here to help you, and we have lots of training videos. I do have to say that if you're able to do both, you are offered a lot more job opportunities, and the reason for that is because of our minimums. So if a bride emails in and they have 3 makeup and 3 hair, 6 applications total, let's say you only do makeup, you would automatically be ruled out of that reservation because of the 6 application minimum. We would only send one artist who could do both on that reservation. Here's our price menu. You can also look at this on our website. But if you look over here to the left, you can see a little bit about our bride pricing. And if you notice, it'll say a bride makeup trial is $60, a bride's hair trial is also $60. So if you do both makeup and hair, you are qualified to be a lead artist. We would book you with a bride if you're ready. And when you do a trial run, you would charge a total of $120 plus tip. And the trial run is your interview with the bride. So the trial run is the interview for the job. The job is the wedding. So I always say, what other company do you know of or any other positions where you're actually getting paid for your interview? So lead artists do trial runs. The day of the wedding, we charge $125 for the bride's makeup. That includes lashes, airbrushing, and travel fees. We'll talk a little bit more about travel fees later. Wedding day hair for the bride is also $125, and then bridal party makeup is $70. Again, includes lashes and airbrushing. And bridal party hair is $70. Often we will do some discount offers just to try to book the wedding. If they have a large bridal party, or let's say they book a year in advance, we do run some promotions where they can get a little bit of a discount. Our base prices are $105 for a bride and $65 for a bridesmaid. So that would be $65 for makeup, $65 for hair, $105 bride makeup, $105 bride hair. We don't go below those prices, and we're going to talk a little bit about service fees a little bit later, but just so you know that our prices can fluctuate by about $5 for a bridesmaid, and then anywhere from $5 to $15 for a bride. Then you can look at the Flower Girl pricing. We do have our bride only package for $325. Again, we only offer that during the weekdays. And we have some a la carte pricing over to the right. We do a lot of extension sales, and with our extension sales, that's a bonus program that we have. You make 100% of your extension sales. So if a bride is interested in getting extensions, we would let you know, and we would have them submit photos of the back of their hair, how many inches they want to add, etc. And then we would communicate those specifics to you so that when you do the trial run, you can have extensions available for the bride. Now, we work with a couple of different companies that you can get a really awesome discount on extensions, anywhere from $35 to $50, depending on the length, for real Remy clip-in extensions. So you would purchase them on your own, and then our starting prices for extensions, if you're looking at the suggested price menu, is $135. So you would meet with the bride. You probably paid anywhere from $40 for the extensions, and then you would turn around and pretty much triple upcharge them, and you make 100% of that money. It's a bonus program. Another bonus program that we have that you make 100% would be your tattoo camos, and then again your trial run money, you make 100% of that. Next, I want to show you guys an example of what a schedule looks like that we do. We mentioned some of our bonus programs, and now I want to talk about the day of the wedding. So the day of the wedding, you would make 60% plus tip. And I really want to break that down for you guys so you kind of know how much you would make per application, how much you would make hourly, and all that good stuff. So this is an example of an artist doing 7 applications, and you can see they're doing a mixture of hair and makeup. Again, being able to do both just provides more jobs for you, because sometimes when a bride books, it's not just all makeup and it's not just all hair. So this is an example of an artist doing 7 applications and starting at 7:30 on her first application. Not all weddings start at 7:30. This is just an example. I would say that most weddings start at probably around 9. But if you notice, it says one adult hair 7:30 to 8. So that's 30 minutes. So within our program, we do require that you are able and capable of doing 1 application for a bridesmaid every 30 minutes. We only style dry hair, so there really shouldn't be a situation where it would take you longer than 30 minutes. You might get a client who sits in your chair and possibly has, really long, thick hair. It might take you 35 minutes. But then the next person who sits in your chair might have really short hair, and it only takes you 25 minutes. So it usually always ends up balancing out. If you look at the bride, they're scheduled with you for an hour. It usually doesn't take a full hour to do a bride's hair or bride's makeup because remember, you've met with them prior to do a trial run. You know exactly what you're doing going into it, and I would say the average time for a bride is about 45 minutes for makeup, sometimes a full hour for hair, just depending on the length and the thickness of their hair. Now, as far as pricing goes, you would collect $70 for that first adult hair. The bridesmaid or the bride would pay you directly, and you keep 60% of that, and the average tip is about $5 per application. Sometimes it's more than that, but I would definitely say that that's the average. So you would walk away making $47 to $50 for that 30 minutes of your time. That continues. If you look at the bride pricing in this specific schedule, we gave them a little bit of a discount. It's $105. Usually you'll see it'll say $125. So we gave them a little bit of a discount. The average bride tip would be $10 for makeup, $10 for hair. So with that said, after you're making the 60% plus tip, you're walking away with making about $73 to $93 in that hour that you worked with the bride. And that continues. And then if you look at the bottom, it says that the total amount that you would take home from a wedding similar to this would be $381 to $431, just depending on if we gave them a little bit of a discount and depending on your tips. So if you divide that by the 4.5 hours that this artist worked, you get $85 to $90 an hour. So again, just an amazing hourly rate that you're making. Again, the bride is the one who pays you. We don't get paid until you get paid. The bride, we ask them through our contracts to pay with cash just because this is a very tight schedule. There is an option in our contract that if they want to pay with a credit card, it's really up to the artist if that is a form of method that they accept. We do encourage you to have a PayPal reader because a lot of times what can happen is perhaps they email us and our contract says that there's 6 makeup, but then the 7th bridemaid who said she didn't want to get her makeup done sees what a great job you do and asks you if you have extra time if you could do her makeup. Well, she probably didn't bring cash because she wasn't expecting to do her makeup. So if you don't have a credit card reader, you're definitely going to run into a situation where you need it. If a bride or a bridesmaid wants to pay with her credit card, we try to give you the heads up on that so you can remember to bring it. I always carry mine with me. In our contract, we do recommend a 20% processing fee. That would be something that you would need to implement while you're there. We do tell them about it so they're aware. So if this schedule and this bride was scheduled to pay a revenue total of $600, on your phone calculator, you would need to take $600 and add on 20% to figure out what that total is. And then when you're ringing them up with your credit card reader, you would add on that 20%. That 20% includes tip. As far as your service fees go, your service fees are due to IDO promptly after your wedding. So if you work on a Saturday, your service fees would be due on Monday, Tuesday, but never after Wednesday. If you pay your service fees late on that following Thursday after your wedding, we do charge a $15 per day late fee. I do want to recommend that all of you get the PayPal credit card swiper. We do require that you have a PayPal account to work through our program because PayPal is our accountant. When you send your service fees, you're going to send those service fees via PayPal, and it's a free service for you. It's a very safe service. You don't have to pay any fees or anything like that to transfer money to IDO when you're sending your service fees. When you're using the PayPal credit card reader, there's, I believe, 2.7% surcharge that they will charge you to use that, but that's kind of covered in your 20% processing fee that you're adding on to the bride. What I really like about the PayPal credit card reader when you have a PayPal business account is it goes directly into your account, where the Square, Intuit, I know that those programs can often take 2 to 3 days just to hit your bank account. So the PayPal one is it's free just to get the swiper, so it's really an awesome program. The next thing that I forgot on my list here is utilizing studio space. We have a couple of different studios in different cities. Not every city has a studio. Some of our artists have their own studio, their own salon, but whenever you are using someone else's studio or salon, at that point you would pay them a studio fee. So if you're traveling to the bride, you don't pay a studio fee because you're not using a studio. If you are doing your trial run within someone else's space, The bride pays you $60 for the makeup trial, $60 for the hair trial plus tip. $10 of the makeup trial and $10 from the hair trial would then go to the studio for a studio fee. We used to charge $50 for a makeup trial and $50 for the hair trial. We recently upped that to $60 and $60, so that technically it's really not you that's paying the studio fee, it's really the bride who's paying that little bit of extra that sometimes would go to the studio if you're using their space. I think that's it on this page. Next, I want to talk to you guys about mileage. This is something that all of you really need to take advantage of. It's an amazing benefit to being a freelance artist, being a business owner. There's a lot of things that at the end of the year that you can write off on your taxes. All of your receipts for your product, mileage, also service fees that you pay to iDo is a business expense. So at the end of the year, we will provide you with a PayPal receipt that has every single transaction and all payments that you've paid to iDo for service fees, and then you can write that off as a business expense. But one thing that I see a lot of artists not taking advantage of is mileage. We don't charge the bride an extra travel fee because it's incorporated into our prices. Again, we only do large bridal parties, so that's why we don't charge an extra fee for travel. I don't want to say we never do that because there are some situations where we might. When we have an a bride contact us inquiring about a wedding, we will MapQuest it from where you live. If you are within 1 hour one way, we might contact you and say, hey, we have this wedding available, are you interested? If we notice that that wedding is over an hour drive for you, we will let you know that, and at that point we will ask you if you'd like for us to charge an extra travel fee, and that could be anywhere from $25 to $75, just depending on how much drive time you have, but we do not charge any extra travel fees if it's under 1 hour one way. But that doesn't mean you can't claim mileage. So this is an example that I wanted to give you guys. If you had an artist driving 69.5 miles round trip, the 2016 rate, and this changes each year sometimes, I know last year in 2015 it was 57.5 cents, so it went down. And you're driving about 70 miles round trip, that is almost $40. So if you are working every single weekend, if you are just working every single Saturday, you are looking at about $2,000 a year that you can collect extra in mileage when you do your taxes. That's not including, if you have Friday weddings, Sunday weddings, if you're driving to trainings and things like that, you can claim mileage on all of that. So some of the artists can make anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 extra in mileage. So we don't charge extra travel fees, but you do get paid for your mileage. It would just be up to you to keep track of that, and it would be up to you to claim that with your taxes. With that said, it's also really important that you're keeping track of your income. We don't keep track of your income for you. We keep track of the service fees that you pay to us, but we don't keep track of your income. You have to keep track of your own expenses. So that way at the end of the year, you can use all of that as a write-off. I really like the program called GoDaddy Bookkeeping. It's an amazing program. I think it's $65 to $100 a year. But you can plug in your accounts, your debit cards, whatnot, that's linked to your business, and it tracks everything for you, even your sales. So as long as you're using the credit card to accept payments. But it's an amazing program, and again, that $100 a year is then a business expense to you. You can also do an Excel spreadsheet as well. Next, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about licensing. We do require that all artists that work through our program have an active cosmetology license and then also a business license. You want to keep a copy of that cosmetology license with you in your kit at all times. And in regards to the business license, a business license is like an LLC, so a limited liability company is what that stands for. The reason why we ask that you have that is because there's a difference between a hobby makeup artist and hairstylist versus a professional. We only work with the best in the industry. We only work with professionals in the industry. This kind of sets you apart from a hobby versus being professional. If you don't have a business license, I'm not saying that you're not professional, but it is a requirement that we have. We only work with independent business owners, strong individuals, and again, this is just something that kind of sets you apart from the others. In most states, a business license is typically just a one-time fee of $100 and you have it forever. So if you have any questions on how to acquire a business license, or you have more questions about it, we'd be happy to talk to you about that. We already talked about each makeup application receiving lashes and airbrushing. We already talked about tax deductions. The next topic that I want to talk to you guys about isn't a fun topic, but I definitely needs to be addressed, and that's damages. Because you're not an employee of IDO, you would be responsible for any damages that you would cause while on location. And a lot of things that I've seen throughout the years is, you know, scratching someone's floor, burning tables, and things like that. So a couple of things that I want to suggest would be, when you enter someone's home or a wedding venue, don't wear heels. Heels can really damage wood floors. Don't roll cases on wood floors. That can leave scratches. If you are going into someone's home or a hotel, make sure that you ask them for an old sheet and an old towel so that you can cover tables and chairs. The most important thing that you can do is having a heat protector pad for your hot tools. You never want to lay your hot irons or straighteners right on a wood table, because I guarantee that you're going to burn a table, and then that client will hold you accountable and possibly want you to pay for the damages that you caused. So that is something that you are responsible for. Obviously, if you damage someone's property, it's an accident. You didn't mean to do it, but you are liable. Some other situations that could happen would be if a client has an allergic reaction to a product that you use on them, or if a flower girl touches your curling iron and gets burnt. There's a lot of unexpected things that can happen, and it's important that you are prepared for something like that. So the other thing that we require in order to join our program is that you have business liability insurance that travels with you. This is something that's very affordable. It's a tax deduction. It's typically about $300 a year or less than $20 a month to get up to $10,000 in coverage. So that way, if you ever do get in a situation where you damage someone's property, you're not out of pocket and you have the funds then to reimburse them for the damages that you caused. We already talked a lot about trial runs. We book weddings for you based on your availability. We will ask you each time when we have a wedding available that we think you might be a good fit for, we will ask you about it. You have the flexibility to say yes or no. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about replacing a job assignment. I mentioned the group Facebook page that we have. That is a great place to do a job posting. So let's say we ask you if you're available to work a wedding. You accept it, and then all of a sudden you need that day off because now your family wants to go on vacation, or you get a personal client request. At that point, if you did not do the trial run with the bride, you can do a job posting on our Facebook page and just say, hey guys, I have this wedding. You'll want to take a screenshot of all the specifics, and usually right away you'll have 2 to 3 people that want to take that wedding from you. So as long as you didn't do the trial run, you always have that flexibility to get your weddings replaced if something comes up. The only rule with this is that we ask you to be the one to find the replacement. We average anywhere from 50 to 100 emails with our brides every day in each division. That's one thing that we've kind of put on the artists for their responsibility, is if you can't work something that you've already told us that you could, you have to find a replacement. If you can't find a replacement, which is rare, at that point you would need to fulfill that commitment. Otherwise it puts our company and the rest of our artists in jeopardy for bad customer service and complaints. And that's the reason why we are so successful and get so many weddings, is because we typically don't get customer complaints, because we don't run into situations like that where we just bail out on a bride. If you do the trial run, at that point you are 100% committed. That is the worst customer service that we can provide. If we confirm with the bride they love you, and then to go back later and say, I'm sorry, you know, Amy isn't available now, they get very upset, and again, it really puts our company in jeopardy for poor customer service. So if you do a trial run at that point, you do not have the flexibility to then pass off that wedding. If you have an emergency where maybe you're in the hospital and you just can't make the wedding, emergencies do happen. That's why it's important that at your trial run you take very good pictures and documentation of the bride's makeup and hair, so that if you have an emergency, you can then forward those photos on to the other artist, and then the bride doesn't have as much anxiety because she can see that we have those photos and that another artist can easily duplicate that. I kind of talked to you a little bit about our training program. We have an amazing video library set in place to kind of help you with different things. And then also usually once a year, sometimes we'll do a tour and we'll come out and we'll visit some of the markets. Or just recently we flew in the lead trainer from Temp 2 from New York. He came to Cincinnati and taught a really awesome advanced master class. Sometimes we'll do live webinars that you can participate in. So again, we are really here to set you up for success. We want to see you grow as an artist, and we are here to get you to that next level. If you do spray tanning or cutting and coloring, other professional beauty services, you're more than welcome to promote that with your I Do clients and brides. You know, there's nothing wrong with, at a trial run, inviting that bride to your salon 2 to 3 weeks before their wedding. You know, maybe you could ask them to come in and do a cut and color. You're more than welcome to do that through our program. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about additional fees that might happen within our program. I don't see this happening a lot, but I want you to know about them. In the event that you do a trial run with a bride and she doesn't like it, let's just say you just couldn't do a good job, what that looks like is when we speak with the bride and we schedule your trial run, which is your interview, we will ask the bride to come prepared with one makeup picture and one hair photo of makeup and hair that she wants to try, so that when you guys meet, you can kind of be on the same page in regards to what exactly it is she's looking for. Sometimes it can be a little more difficult than that, but it usually gives you a really good guideline as to what she's wanting. But let's just say she just didn't like it. You might not be a good fit for everyone, and even the best artists might get a cancellation now and then. It's okay. But if they don't like it and they complain about it, and if they request a refund, it would be your responsibility to pay them that refund. Again, we don't see that happen a lot. Usually when someone cancels, it's, you know, they still really like the artist. They just maybe went a different route. We don't find a lot of brides that are unhappy and demand a refund. I've seen it a couple times, but just so you know, if they're very unhappy at that point, we might contact you and say this bride is requesting a refund. If you are ever tardy to a trial run, I can tell you right now, there's a pretty good chance they probably won't book you for their wedding, because they probably will think you're going to be tardy to their wedding. But in some situations, if you're caught in traffic or if you're going to be late to the wedding, try your best not to do that. You don't want to add any stress onto these brides that are already stressed out. It can really just throw off their whole day. I always leave 15 to 20 minutes earlier than I think I need to, just so that when I arrive, I'm always early, and I prepare myself for things that might happen, such as traffic. But anyways, if you're ever in a situation where you're late, please offer that bride a discount. That discount would come off of your earnings, but you need to do something to kind of compensate for that inconvenience and that worry. If you need to reschedule a trial run, maybe you're not feeling well or your kid might not be feeling well, whatever the situation may be, in that scenario, you also want to offer maybe a small discount. A lot of these brides schedule their trials for bridal showers, engagement photos, and it can really be an inconvenience, and we want to keep our customer service at an A+. So if you need to reschedule something with a bride, let us know, contact the bride, but please offer them some type of small discount. Our sister company is Simply Makeup and Hair. When you contract with us, you're contracted with them, and it's just another avenue to receive more job opportunities. So I think this concludes the video. The last thing I want to mention is the artist service agreement. So after you finish watching this video, please email me and let me know that you've completed it. And the next step would be we will send you a written version of this video, which is called the Artist Service Agreement. It goes a little bit more in detail about our program. So read it over, review it, let us know if you have any questions. Once you fill out that service agreement, and you can fill it out from your phone, it's an electronic document, turn that into us, and then we will get you signed up with a letter that you can send to all of the pro discount companies to sign up for your pro discounts if you don't already have those discounts, and we will put you on our contact list and start offering you weddings as they become available. So we really look forward to hearing from you, and we really look forward to having you be a part of our Pro Artist program. Have a wonderful day.